So officially, I think the AI bros can be considered a religion. Do I think the Messiah, Sam Altman, believes it? But maybe, probably. But I think he's more relying on other people to believe it in order to get what he wants. Which in his case might not just be money, but the power that comes, like, it's almost like he's giving birth to his child, the AI, open AI, ChatGPT. So basically they're admitting that global climate change is a horrible problem that nobody knows the solution to, and to feed their giant AI data centers will only make the problem worse. But they are so convinced that it's going to be so powerful and give those answers that they're willing to keep giving it more resources, even if it is definitely going to make the problem worse, even though there's better solutions than feeding it with gasoline, but they don't have time to build up the infrastructure for that. They're going to do this instead. But the bottom line is, at least in the way I see it, is they have far too much faith in their new cool tool. And that is what it is. It is a cool tool. It is a helpful tool. It can bring on a lot of great things, but so far it has accumulated a lot of data and put together a lot of data, some of which would have taken humans much longer, if ever, to put certain things together in certain ways, which can amplify what we can create as humans. But so far it has not created anything new itself, at least not that I'm aware of. So the idea of solving any great human problems such as global climate change or war or human hunger and relying completely on AI, assuming that if we just keep giving it resources, even if giving those resources affect the very problems that we want to solve, that eventually the AI will give us some magical solution, is the same as rubbing a lamp and hoping a genie pops out. Now, Sam Altman himself might believe this, might not. It's kind of irrelevant, but certainly others do, and certainly others don't. But in effect, all of them use other people's belief, or the idea of the belief of believing in AI and the future power that AI may hold, as a way of getting the means what they want, building their corporations, getting more money, getting more power, getting more faith put into them by governments, corporations, and so on. Out of all the extremely rich billionaires, I don't think Sam Altman is the worst. He may have the best of intentions, and I'm not even saying that it's necessarily bad to put faith in something, including AI, but I think for humanity as a whole, putting all our eggs in one basket as it is a bad idea. We shouldn't be taking this new emerging tool and giving it all these resources, especially when we don't have the resources to use on the things that we already knew would work. You see, the thing is, in my opinion, the difference between NFTs and AI is the fact that AI has a lot more oomph behind it. It actually is a powerful tool that can help humanity and help solve problems. It might not be able to create anything new, but it can take already existing data and find new things in the data that would have taken thousands, hundreds, whatever, 10 years for humans to find on their own. Now, I do think there could have been value in NFTs, and maybe there still could be. And for that matter, I'm excited about VR, but I think you get where I'm getting with this. Like a few years ago, it was all about NFTs, and then they were going to have NFTs in the metaverse and crypto, and crypto's still a thing, and NFTs maybe are still a thing. There was a little bit of value in it, and then the tech bros got a hold of it and tried to amplify it and be like, it's the answer to all things, and life is going to evolve around it, because they want to find the next iPhone. They had the .com bubble, and then they had the social media, I don't know if it was a bubble, but the extreme of YouTube and the platforms, and everything took over, and they're trying to have that again, but it's not guaranteed. There were so many revolutions right in a row that made these billionaires, like the three people that own more than the 99% of the rest of the country, all made their billions during that tech revolution time. And there was a bunch of other billionaires born as well. Like Bill Gates was like the biggest one when I was a kid. But as we know, PCs started to slow down, phones get better every year, but just incrementally, and Moore's law is pretty much dead. They figure out new ways to, of course, make it. Of course, I want the newest stuff. It is better, but it's not explosively better. I remember back in my day, kids, if you didn't buy a new computer like 2-4 years tops, you were like obsolete, like actually couldn't like function online or play video games or do any of the stuff because technology was just moving that much that fast. Like you like literally couldn't keep up with the programs that businesses needed to run their business in an efficient and modern way. So they keep looking for that pillar, and the NFTs and the metaverse didn't cut it. So now it's AI, and now AI is a powerful thing. And now it's starting, like ChatGPT 4 was damn good, but it was still incrementally better than like the ChatGPT blew up in 2001 or whatever, and it is revolutionary, but it might not be as revolutionary as the smartphone, as the iPhone. Now, maybe I'm missing something, but it seems like a lot of these guys are gambling the bank on something that's not guaranteed. Now, I recently heard that 80% of AI tech startups, like tech companies that base their main monetization on something to do with AI, 80% of them go under, but there are true believers. Some of them don't even work for OpenAI and the other AI companies. I mean, I just saw this video. That was an interesting watch. In his video, he infiltrates a sort of AI cult, and I've been noticing a lot of that. I mean, there's like groups of college kids that will ask, I guess they're called the Claude Bros. I heard about it on some podcast where they basically have Claude structure their life and they pursue whatever basically Claude tells them to. And I guess if that works for you, who am I to judge? And it's good to have meaning in life, but they're presenting it as creating their own god, but with like this hidden agenda of money. And then some people are buying it. Some people AI has given purpose to. All the while they've been basically siphoning off, and in my opinion, like fair use. Like I'm all about fair use here on YouTube, being a video editor, but we all know what's happening in the art world and sucking up probably even this video into their algorithms to train their algorithms to then spit back stuff. And eventually, I mean, I've made other videos about it. Eventually you'll go onto YouTube and you'll click a button and it'll be a personalized PSYOP just for you, telling you exactly what you need to hear to buy the new greatest thing with your hard-earned money while you're living in your shack that you can't afford. What do they call that? That's your daily dose of nihilism. But life is good because it's all about perspective. Stay in the community, folks. Stay in the real community. Your A-guy girlfriend puts up with you because she's not real. Relationships are about give and take, and I've been seeing more and more of these like posts, and weird posts get pushed to the top, but like, even if there's only a few people that are dating the AI, like that just seems very unhealthy unless it's for a specific reason and guided with like a real life human counselor or psychologist or something. But that's just my 2 cents. I just think another aspect about it is like they're creating God, but they are the ones that write the code. And even though they don't understand it completely, like they do control it and program it. And like the television, it can tell you to do whatever they say they want it to tell you to do. And you could get all conspiracy about it, but the truth is we know what they want you to do, and that is to buy. Whatever they're selling. And I'm going to make a longer video about some of the other nefarious things, because the truth is they finally might eventually, because they'll make it work because it's that important, have their all-time fix. They will have their free labor. They're going to program the robots. They're going to get it into people's homes, and it will do all the jobs, but they'll have their free workers. But then who's going to buy their products? I guess they'll just have to be billionaires buying from billionaires. It's like these airplanes that are always flying over my house. Like, they used to not fly over the house, but then they changed like the way they flew or whatever, and the local airport that's like this little airport got way more populated, and they decided to have more flights in and out of it. And Bob's your uncle, there's airplanes flying over the house all the time. Well, we breathe in the airplane jet fuel. And I suppose it's sort of like that with data centers, right? Like, the reservoirs are on people's property, private property, some of which are owned for generations, farmed for generations. People live in these remote places that are quiet. Some people move there because they are quiet. And here comes the big bad tech industry with subsidies and upping the power for everyone else and sucking in the power. And I do have hope. I try not to be too much of a pessimist. I think there's a lot of good that can come from these technologies, but I think the public should have much more of a say than they currently do. There are plenty of ways that we can have our cake and eat it too. Nuclear power plants, back in the day they were bad, but there were two different kinds of nuclear power plants, and now they can make them much more efficient. Well, actually, even back then they could make them much more efficient, and did for submarines, but it was cheaper to make the big smokestack ones that ended up melting down. But nuclear is a serious option. Hippies don't want to hear it because they got such a bad rap, but if you do the research, like, nuclear's far better than burning fossil fuel. And if we all want to keep using our computers and running our cameras and getting these data centers, it's a potential solution. There's also all these new ways that I've been hearing about lately that have to do with natural gas and new ways of refining it, so there's zero carbon. But when it comes to big corporations and the way they're using their softwares and the money that we're spending on it and giving subsidies for, we're pretty much like welfare state for the corporations, risking rolling blackouts and all sorts of power grid problems. And I mean, we should be building the infrastructure way bigger and better. And there's been bills passed that say that they're going to do that at some point, but we should really concentrate on that before we put all our energy into these big data centers. And again, the people that are paying for it, the people that pay for it both in like tax money, but also with the annoyance of having these data centers making noise in these communities, and the energy that they're spending, and just like quality of life, like the airplanes flying over the house, should have a say on it. I'm all about having airplanes all over the world. That's really cool part about being a human, is having the technology to travel and do these like amazing things that our ancestors couldn't. Dogs can't, monkeys can't, humans are amazing. But we should do it smartly and think about the future. The main reason is because I have these ideas that are in my head, and when I say them out loud to people around me, they call me I'm crazy, so I talk into my camera and then post it on the internet. It's an outlet. You can tell me if it's healthy or not. Like and subscribe, and I'll either see you in the next video or I'll see you in the next life. And let me know if you want me to keep talking about this nonsense.